Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So let's talk about the brand new Primary Arms SLx MD25 red dot sight and why it is by far my new favorite red dot. So I've actually had this red dot sight in for a few months now, ever since talking to the guys over at the Primary Arms booth at SHOT Show 2020, and I've been putting a ton of rounds through her ever since then, and she has very much performed as well as expected. Not a single issue at all, which is something you're kind of used to from Primary Arms. They are definitely known for high quality budget optics, so you can get a lot of bang for your buck. This is actually a pre-production model. They're currently doing pre-orders for a late April or May of 2020 launch, so I would definitely say if you're interested, get that pre-order in. Link will be down in the comments below. But that's not all. I also went ahead and did a few torture tests on her. I went ahead and froze this red dot sight in a block of ice. And then we proceeded to smash it and make sure that she is still functioning as normal. And I grabbed a little helper to kind of help with that testing, just to be sure I was doing it right. And then after that, I figured let the dog take a look a little bit, just to kind of see what she thinks about the sight overall. And then I found out there's some grass stains on there. It was a little dirty, but still working just fine. So I went ahead and threw her in some water for about an hour just to get a good bath and kind of clean up a little bit. But of course, when she came out of that water, she was doing just fine, no issues at all. And all of those tests that I performed definitely made this red dot sight kind of shine as a new rugged design. And of course, like I said, Primary Arms is already known for their great red dot sights, so I definitely expected no less from this, and she works fine and still zeroed, which is very impressive. So let's talk about the features you get with this MD25 red dot sight. So it is a 2 MOA red dot sight, very rugged design with a 25mm lens. All right, so what that means is it is a much wider lens than you're typically used to seeing through other red dot sights in the comparable price point, which this is going to be priced at $169.99. Again, the links will be down below. And what's crazy about it is it allows you to get a much larger field of view, and the design itself, you can just kind of see they're going right after some of the higher market, some of the more high priced options on the market. And this is coming in, of course, at a much more affordable price point. So everything about this has been redesigned by Primary Arms. When I talked to them over at SHOT Show, they talked about how they actually went ahead and had a hand in redesigning the base. They wanted something that came with the red dot sight to be a very much of a more high quality base where you wouldn't have to go out and buy another base or go ahead and find a different mounting solution. Everything you see on this table here comes with the red dot sight. Even though this is a pre-production model, you might even get a few extra goodies in there. I don't know what comes with it, just because I didn't get the full kit. But this is everything you'll be getting with that red dot sight. We'll talk about that in a sec. But again, mounting system, very rugged, based on their T1 design. So if you have the Cyclops, if you have some of the older red dot sights by Primary Arms, they all work on this T1 mount right here. And of course, there are a ton of aftermarket mounts as well if you choose to not use this mount. All right, but very rugged design, nice big screws. All right, up here you'll see your typical windage and elevation adjustment. Real nice, solid, tight fit there with that O-ring. Cap on the back here allows you to make a fine-tune adjustments right there with the cap. Very nice touch. And again, on the side here, same thing. All right. Over here, it is a rotary knob base. All right, so you can go ahead and twist this right here to reveal the battery compartment. CR2032 batteries, 50,000 hour battery life. All right, so very typical of Primary Arms red dot sights. So you can basically just leave it on and not worry about it for years, which is great. You can see it's kind of banged up from some of my torture tests, but other than that, everything's great with it, holding up just fine. Front red coated lens, it's a little bit off tilt, so you'll know that kind of helps with lens flare. Front lens here, again, 25mm. What that allows you is to have a much wider field of view, and you'll notice the emitter that is typically on these, maybe on the bottom corner or the top corner, that's usually kind of blocking your field of view just a little bit, is actually the new emitter is on the side. And that side point means it is very flush with the side and it does not kind of get in your way at all that much, which is good. So it's going to be tough to show on camera, but you have 12 settings, starting with 0. All right, 0, night vision 1, night vision 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so there's 11 right there. And of course the red dot is kind of blown out from the camera lens, but it is a very crisp 2 MOA red dot and shows plenty bright in almost any setting, especially bright daylight. I typically actually run her on about an 8, if that helps you at all, so you have a few adjustments above that if you really want to crank her up. So I think that covers the sight itself. Now, when you're looking at what comes in the packaging, you're going to definitely get some Loctite. All right, little tube in there. You might need that. You can Loctite these screws down because the mount goes right on to your optic rail, like so. Clamps down nice and tight. You get your little optic cloth right there. You get a new and improved T-handle wrench. All right, that again is used on these nice beefy screws here. No more tiny screws you have to worry about stripping because this is a very high quality tool right here. And then the little one right here, which is you kind of used to seeing, is again for that universal T1 mounting system. All right, you can pop these screws out, that comes off, and then you can go ahead and swap it from the absolute co-witness that it's on right now to maybe a low profile mount like this. And what I thought was really neat is they give you these spacers as well. All right, you see this spacer right here. Now these allow you to raise up the sight. All right, however you need. You have a low spacer and a high spacer. All right, so you can actually raise and lower the sight. All right, if you wanted to, like that. You can just stack them up, I guess. But yeah, you can raise or lower them with these spacers. I haven't seen those before included, especially at this price point. So that's actually really a good feature to have if you're interested in needing to have this spaced out in a particular way. If you didn't want a co-witness, if you had it on a different weapons platform that isn't an AR, you can use these spacers to kind of fine-tune where you want it to be. Now comparing it to something you might already know. So this right here is the Primary Arms 50,000 hour advanced red dot sight. This has been made famous years ago because it was one of the first ones that came out with 50,000 hours. All right, it has your push buttons up top here. You can see mine has been thrown through the ringer. But the thing you really want to pay attention to, look at that lens. All right, you're looking at this lens. This is your typical red dot. When you see a red dot that's under $200, you know, there's a bunch of them out there. That's the size you're looking at, all right? It's not 25 millimeters. Size could be an issue, right? So this is obviously a little bit bigger, but again, it's a little bit more rugged, a little bit more beefy. You can kind of see the same mounting system right here with that T1 with the screws there, but you just have the one little screw there to hold it onto the rail, whereas this is now a double screw system. Plus you have this little piece right here to kind of help with the mounting of it, keep it nice and solid on there. But again, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier, but it's not that much more in the weight either. They really made this great because this is only 3 inches long and only 6.5 ounces. So it's still a very lightweight optic. Fog resistant, waterproof, freeze proof, typical sight. All right, same with these old ones here too. They held up great. This one I've had for years and years. They held up just fine, no issues at all. Well, I hope you guys found this review on the Primary Arms SLx MD25 useful. It is a great optic for the value. Very rugged, very well built, like all Primary Arms optics are. And the reason why I wanted to launch this video before they become available is because you know what's going on in the world right now. Supply chains are run thin, and these are available for pre-order with the link down below. If you don't pre-order now, I could see it being months until they get more in. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but I know parts and availability for a lot of things around the industry are kind of run thin right now, and you can notice all the prices going up. These are still marked at the launch price at $169.99. Get that pre-order in. That's my recommendation. I'm probably going to order a couple more myself because these are a great value, and with everything going on, who doesn't need another good red dot optic? So, well, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions at all, hit them in the comments below. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this video. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet, and I'll see you in the next review.